Hello, Steve again. In this second video, I'm going to briefly cover my network diagram as well as the machines in VMware. To start out, it shows on my map I have 6 clients. Originally I was going to have 5, but I realized I installed Nessus on my workstation and that would have gave inaccurate results. So I ended up making a second workstation as well. But we have a Linux server, Windows server, client called Metasploitable, and Kali Linux, all on the same VLAN. And this was made using a LAN segment inside of VM Network Editor. So we'll jump over here and take a look. This is the workstation I used to run Nessus. And I set up a couple different scans, one for each client. In retrospect, I could have set up one, say like the advanced web scan. I could have set one of those up and applied all the IP addresses in there, but at the time it made sense to separate them out. So I had one scan for each client. And it goes through, lists all the vulnerabilities on each system. The most interesting one is on the Metasploitable. This one here. That showed a total of about 140 issues in there, 6 of them critical. On the settings, here it shows each one is on a LAN segment. And I applied it to IT 222 because I have a couple classes on this server. It made sense to separate them like that. Then we can go in and look at the network config. And that shows it has the same IP address that was shown in the network map. We have a server for Windows. And the second workstation I made for more accurate testing on the Nessus scan. Then we have Kali Linux. I used WPS scan or WP scan, and that showed some information that I actually found out Nessus supplies as well, but it was interesting to use that tool. I set up a router, but I didn't need it in this case. I set it up so when I go to update the machines, it'll be easier to connect them to the internet. And then my Linux server. And then Metasploitable I have. After running that test, I turned it off because it just seemed so vulnerable. But in retrospect, it was on its own network segment and wasn't exposed to anything to begin with. But still, all those results is a little unsettling. But that's a quick overview of my lab. Hope you enjoyed.